A growing number of school districts across the U.S. are adjusting their return from the holiday break because of the fast-spreading Omicron variant. President Biden said today he wants all schools to stay open, but some schools are turning to remote learning as they deal with staffing shortages because of outbreaks. Other schools are delaying reopening altogether. According to school closure tracking website Burbio, more than 3,000 schools nationwide were closed Monday. Meanwhile, the American Academy of Pediatrics says COVID cases in children jumped 64% in the week leading up to December 23rd, an increase that has many parents and teachers worried about reopening classrooms. Joining us now is U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. Kids around the country went back to school this week, as we know, but with surging pediatric cases, what do you say to parents who feel uncomfortable about children returning to in-person learning?
Right. Thank you for having me, and Happy New Year. As a parent myself, when I send my children off to school, I make sure that the mitigation strategies that I know work are being utilized. And I feel confident that for children ages 5 and up, they're eligible now for vaccines. I feel confident that my children are vaccinated and that they're as safe as they can be. But I also recognize that for that year that my children didn't have access to in-person learning as regularly, there was an impact. And I believe they're safest in schools when schools are following the mitigation strategies, when students have access to testing and they have access to in-person learning with their peers and with their teachers.
I think a lot of parents not only worry about their children who may be unvaccinated, but of course immunocompromised family members that may be at home. You've been a proponent of in-person learning, but we are seeing many school districts return to remote learning. So clearly some educators and administrators disagree with you. How do you respond to teachers and administrators who are either getting sick, fear for their safety or their family's safety, or think the surge is too great a risk for in-person learning?
I do recognize there's a lot of fear and concern. Ultimately, I support in-person learning if it's safe. And I do believe we have the tools now to make in-person learning safe. I do believe that we need to continue to provide in-person learning because either we're helping address opportunity gaps or they're getting worse. So for me, there's a sense of urgency to use the tools that we have at our disposal. There are funds to increase the number of staff we have in our schools. We can do vaccine clinics to make sure that our children are safe. There's funding $10 billion for testing, not only the over-the-counter tests, but also the lab tests, mitigation strategies that we know worked, and they worked when we didn't have vaccines to keep children in school. So we can do it. What I am hearing, however, from school and district leaders across the country is that these short-term closures are because they don't have adequate staffing. And they anticipated getting better, but some of these closures are because they don't have adequate staffing. That's why we're encouraging the use of the American Rescue Plan funds to try to get additional staff, not only in the classrooms, but also bus drivers and other important personnel for our students.
The president did address the American Rescue Plan, giving schools the resources they need to navigate the pandemic today. They just need to use them. How is your department getting schools to use those resources? And what's being done to help any schools that may have already exhausted theirs?
Right. I visited over 25 states in the last 9 months, and I have to tell you, I'm very impressed with the creative solutions that are being used with the American Rescue Plan funds, whether that's improved ventilation systems, more summer school programming, extended day, masks. The funds are being used to keep our students in the classrooms. That's why we went from 47% in January of last year to 99% of our schools open in December. The funds are being used. We're going to continue to encourage states and districts to use the funds to safely reopen schools. If that means testing materials, if that means bonuses for bus drivers or for educators, or giving our para-educators a competitive salary so that they can stay in those jobs, that's what we want to do. The most important thing we can do for our students is to provide them an in-person learning opportunity that's safe. It's good for them, it's good for our school community, but it's also good for parents who this time around are not staying home. They have to go back to work. So we're a part of a community and we know how important schools are. We have the tools to keep our schools open. We recognize there's some bumps in the road. We want to support our educators across the country, but we need to keep our schools open.
Such a tough time. It is certainly so important to have our kids in classrooms, all the benefits that come along with being with their peers in front of their teachers. We're grateful to all the teachers and school staff who risk their health to be in school teaching our children. Every district is handling the pandemic differently. What is your department doing to streamline COVID protocols and have baseline safety standards in place nationwide?
Yeah. You know, when I came on board as secretary in March, I recognized the need for clear guidance on what we know works. We've done more than 3 volumes of handbooks to help states and districts safely reopen, including best practices from across the country, because we learn by watching what other districts are doing and seeing the innovation across the country. Funneling the $130 billion to the districts, to the states, so that they have access to resources to provide more social workers, more school counselors, because our students have experienced trauma, better engagement with parents, because we know parents have had to put up with not only working, but also serving as part-time educators over the last year and a half. So, you know, our job is really to support, to make sure that the money gets to the classrooms, to the students who need it the most, to address the impact of the pandemic. And we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to support our districts, be clear around what works. We've been very vocal about ensuring that the mitigation strategies are used, especially in those places that we're not using them, because we know it's not only about opening schools, it's about safely opening schools to protect our students and our staff.
I'm one of the many parents with a child under 5 who's not eligible for a vaccine yet, worried about keeping him safe, like many parents. What are your concerns regarding early childhood education programs, and what's being done to ensure children who are too young to be vaccinated are protected?
You know, our actions affect everyone. So if I'm eligible to be vaccinated, getting myself vaccinated is protecting your children. And I think we just have to continue that message that children under the age of 5, while they're not eligible for vaccination, those who are eligible, they're not only protecting themselves, but they're protecting their entire community. So ensuring that children under the age of 5 are in environments where the mitigation strategies are being used and where the adults who are caring for them are vaccinated themselves to prevent spread of COVID as much as possible.
Secretary Miguel Cardona, thank you for your time and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.